Well, baby, you've been on my mind. I think about you all the time. Oh, I want to see your face.
Everybody's got an Uncle Donnie. Uncle Donnie's sketchy, right? Uncle
Donnie takes his 11-year-old.
Yeah, Uncle Donnie is like, he loves to drink.
Yeah, of course.
Still, Uncle Donnie was like dressing up in like Paul Stanley Kiss makeup in his 30s for no reason, just because it's Tuesday.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right?
I call that a Tuesday.
So Uncle Donnie takes me to see Motley Crue and Whitesnake. And my mom, I remember my mom and dad sitting down with me. My dad saying, so Jason, there's this stuff called marijuana. If your uncle smokes any of this stuff called marijuana, I want you to call us. And we'll come pick you up. And I'm like, okay, sure. So we're sitting there after Whitesnake plays, you know, and waiting for Motley Crue to start. And I smell this smell. And I'm like, I don't know what that smell is, but I know it's marijuana. And Uncle Donnie, a.k.a. UD, didn't touch it because he had his precious cargo with him.
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't smoke.
You mean his own supply? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, he didn't smoke any weed. But UD, I'll tell you, I mean, so in my early 20s, I was in a band. And UD, all of our shows in St. Louis, UD would come. He'd wear our shirts. He'd be shouting along every word. He's my number one supporter. So God love UD, and thank you for.
Is he still here?
UD's still alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, UD's.
This goes out to UD. UD wearing Kiss makeup on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
You're my kind of guy.
And
I'm part of the Kiss army.
He's the world's #1 David Bowie fan.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love Bowie.
He's got, when I was a kid, he had this massive canvas.
Ziggy?
With this Ziggy oil painting.
So I love
Huge.
Thin White Dude was my era, right? I'm 48, so Thin White Dude.
Is that your nickname for
No,
Hedgecock?
no, that was his character. Remember, he always had character.
Thank you. That
Guess
was
who his
kind.
guitar
That
player
was
was?
kind.
Guess who his guitar player was? His lead guitar player. Remember that song, Modern Love? Da, 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 Modern Love. Okay.
No.
It was kind of cheesy. Stevie Ray Vaughan was his lead guitarist.
Stevie Ray Vaughan, SRV.
The man, and we're here in Texas, so
Got a statue of him downtown.
unbelievable
Yeah,
that
right on the down lake.
SRV was his lead guitar player. Look it up. Under that cheesy tour.
Got it.
All right, let's do this. Everybody, that's Jason Tarrant. Everybody give it up for Jason.
Jason
And
Tierney.
UD.
And
UD.
Uncle Donnie.
UD.
I don't have an Uncle Donnie. I have an Aunt Sue.
An AS.
I have an
AS. Oh,
Aunt Sue was
Right.
my Uncle Donnie.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought your
She took me-
sister's
Aunt's-
new nickname's UD.
Megan is Aunt
She's
Sue.
UD from now on.
She is Aunt Sue reincarnated. She is the Uncle Donnie to my kids.
Okay.
Is Aunt Megan. Auntie, she won't even go by Aunt Megan. If Jackson wants to piss her off,
Right.
he calls her Aunt Megan. She is Auntie M.
Auntie M.
Yep.
From
Auntie
now
M.
on, when I see her,
Auntie M.
UD.
And there's definitely some marijuana. If
That's what
Auntie
I thought
M is
about.
coming over.
I think everyone
It's
has an Uncle Donnie in their life.
Yeah.
They do. She's awesome.
She is our
well, let's just
Uncle
jump in.
Donnie.
Let's just jump in since we handsome. You good? Audio's good. Okay.
Great.
Hi, Levi.
Hello. How are
What
you,
time
man?
did you just get in?
No, we got here around noon today. I left
Okay.
the house about 5:30 this morning.
I saw that on social
Yeah.
media. You gave us a little shout out.
Yeah, man. Of
Gave
course.
us a little shot of the not the steering wheel, but the radio, and kind
Yeah.
of
Love it.
like, let's go. I like that.
Yeah,
go.
Zach Bryan's song from Austin came on, and figured it's kind of fitting
Yeah,
being here in Austin.
So what'd you listen to on the way down?
yeah.
They did a little bit of everything. Willie Nelson on the road again.
Okay.
Throw some Chris Stapleton on, Luke Combs,
Yeah.
some of my songs,
Nice.
Of course.
Jack Waters,
Hey,
Yeah.
We love old Jack. That's
Good old
cool,
Jack
man.
Waters.
and he did something for you guys when he came here. So I got you guys some koozies.
My goodness,
Actually made by
uh,
him. So
I'll
Oh.
tell you what, man.
No, that guy's got talent.
He does. He
I need
does.
do we have any more of these cans?
We can get you a can right now.
Or a cold beer in a can would
Are
work
you
as well.
doing it? It's Friday. Yeah.
It's fucking Friday.
Hey, get him a beer. Get him a beer.
Well, only if it can go in this koozie. I just want something that goes in a koozie.
So I usually have
Use
this
it.
problem. So let's try this.
No.
Hey, those are some performance fits right there.
Thank you, because they
Performance.
make koozies now for White Claws and breaking laws,
Yeah.
and they're skinny koozies trying to shove something fat in there. You
Yeah,
know
those
what
are
I'm
like
saying,
the
Levi?
jeans I buy. They stretch.
I knew you were good.
Dude, stretchy jeans are amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they finally started those for men.
Exactly. man, yeah.
Because
Because you've been wearing the women's for how long?
I've been I've been wearing women's stretch jeans for at least 2 years, and now they make them in my size.
So when I was growing up, they called those Jordache
Jordache.
jeans, baby.
That was a long time ago.
I'm old, dude.
You are old.
I'm literally knocking on the door of 50.
So you left this morning and you drove down to Austin.
Yeah, man.
You been to Austin before?
I've drove through. I don't recall, off the top of my head anything.
Welcome to
I've
Austin.
Done in Austin. Thank you, man.
Welcome to Austin.
We ate at this place over here, the American Grill. The it's super fancy. Had these
Carve.
Is that what it is?
Carve.
Carve?
Steakhouse?
Yeah, Carve
Yeah.
Steakhouse.
Oh, they're good.
Ooh, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend Katie went over there and had
Yeah.
a nice cheap lunch.
Yeah. Yeah. Super
Yeah,
cheap.
it wasn't too cheap, but
Yeah.
it was.
Well,
it was
that's
delicious.
one thing you'll learn about Austin. They'll make sure you're paying. I
Well,
guarantee.
I'll argue that because there's a lot of really good restaurants in Austin.
I was going to say
and
food trucks.
really, yeah, and food trucks and really affordable, good
What's
restaurants.
the options here? You got to say it
We're
with
going,
accent, Dan.
We're going Twisted X. No. Convict Hill. No, we're going Twisted
Boston
X.
Lager.
Boston
Twist-
That was
Lager.
a terrible.
No, we got a
Levi,
Boston.
did-
Ba-
Levi,
we got
do you
Boston,
drink?
though.
Yeah, man.
We got
Grab
a
you one.
Boston
Sure, I'll grab whatever.
lager, and we got an Austin lager.
This will
I'm
work,
doing
brother. Thank you
Sober
so much.
October, so cheers to you. Let's have a good podcast.
Yeah, cheers. Thank
Here's
you, brother.
Sleeping Around with
y'all.
Dr. Matthew,
Dr.
Dr. Brandon.
Dr. Brandon and Matthews.
Swear, okay, look, it is
Erection
sparkling
day.
water and erection. Let's try that again. Cheers to Sleeping Around with Dr. Brandon and Matthew.
Cheers.
Thank you, Levi.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for driving in. Let's kind of do how we became how I got in touch with you is through mutual friends of ours, the Longacres, and
Great people, man.
they are. Nancy reached out to me as soon as this podcast
Pelosi?
started hitting. That too.
She is the top lawmaker,
She
isn't she?
is out of San Francisco. She's like, Levi is the man.
Yeah.
Our good friends Nancy
likes the gavel.
Longacre. Nancy Longacre
She loves the gavel.
reached out to me and said, "You've got to have Levi on your podcast." I said, "Okay." That's how close I am with her. Now, for Brandon and Handsome Dan, who've heard this a million times, I grew up in Yukon, Oklahoma, and I run with this amazing group of people. We've talked a little bit about Cross Canadian Ragweed. One of those guys, good friends of mine, he opened up a bar in Houston, and Levi plays there. Jack plays there. A lot of my friends play there. And so it just was natural. And I spoke with Levi and said, I'll make it happen. Let's get the dates right. And so am I telling the story all correct?
Yeah, man. I mean, it was picture perfect for me.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful. Nancy and Jay, you mentioned Jay earlier, great people. I'm so fortunate and lucky to have come across two great friends, which sounds like I'm not the only one who's been that fortunate.
Yeah,
And, they went ahead and made me some more friends here. So
Yeah,
thank you.
so they Jay just had his 50th. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. I had a prior obligation, but I was
was a
able
good time.
to shoot a video. They asked me to shoot a video and tell a story, and so I'll tell the story for our audience to hear. So how did I get to be friends with Jay Longacre, who eventually married Nancy, blah, blah, blah. We both had a crush on this girl named Heather McDonald, and I was 7th grade, he was 8th grade. And we both liked her, and we were at the Dairy Queen across from the old Yukon High School
Oh, geez.
on a Friday night, and he goes, I want to fight you.
This sounds so Yukon.
Oh, it is. I'm going to fight you. And I was like, I don't want to fight you, and I used to be really short and fat, and long story. But we ended up fighting.
No,
and
it's not a
was-
long story. It's a short and fat story.
It was the worst fight ever. And right after that, we just kind of looked at each other like you did back in the days after a fight.
Shook hands.
Shook hands and went, this is silly over
Yeah.
Heather McDonald. So we've been friends ever since, played sports together. Again, just great people. But
was
it
that
a
the
fun
last
story. So
time-
you were at the party?
Yeah, man, we were there and played some music on the back porch, hung out, and made him cry. So you can hold that on him too. So
Yeah.
it was a good time.
Well, it looked like a crazy turnout, man. Just
It
a
was.
throw down.
Some great people, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Now,
telling
now
you.
you're from Oklahoma too,
Yeah, born and raised, man.
and you went to high school where?
Luther High School. My mom has been teaching there 25 years now. So she's
Luther, Oklahoma.
Luther, Oklahoma.
Now
man.
is Luther like Yukon? Is it a similar type of town? Is
no,
it?
It's a very small town. They were Class A, 2A.
Okay.
When I was going there, so they were.
When I was there, when the top was 5A, we were 5. So
Oh,
I
you guys are
graduated-
5A.
Yeah, I graduated with like 400 people.
I graduated with 46.
There you go.
Whew.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And back
graduated
in
like-
92, 400 was a high number.
Back in
You were
'92,
born
I
around
wasn't
that
a
time,
glimmer
right?
in anyone's
93.
eye.
I was gonna say, Levi wasn't around in 1992.
Well, it was Handsome Dan.
Oh, you're
Well,
younger than me?
I'm 25. Just
Finally,
turned 25
somebody.
October 12th.
Look at Dan. Dan's the elder statesman. All of a
Happy
sudden.
birthday.
Tucks his hair back now. I see what you're doing over there. Well, no. So let's just jump in, man. So the reason they reached out to me is because they said, Matthew, you got to hear this guy sing. So you know Nancy, she's persistent.
Oh, yeah.
So she sends me all these clips. I go, Nancy, I can find it out. And then I asked Jack and I asked my friends. And, man, I started following you on social, saw that you were doing these festivals, and just really impressed. I like your voice.
Thank you.
One of the things that I hope I bring to this podcast that is about sleeping and sleep issues is musicians, because I know you guys are going to have issues with sleep.
And I've
But-
reached out to you about some of my issues we can talk about later.
Absolutely. So let's just jump in. Brandon always asks this question, so I'll steal it.
Cool.
Have you always played music?
I have not always played music. I've always loved music, been around music. I didn't start playing guitar until I was about 9 years old.
I like that you act like that. So
Yeah.
I started playing at the great old age of 9.
You know, because we've had some guests that never picked up a guitar till they were 35.
Yeah.
And that's been amazing to me. So to me, 9 years old, might as well.
I'm saying I was playing like, your standard wagon wheels and stuff. And I played that song probably 5,000 times before I was comfortable enough to play it in front of somebody else.
Yeah.
But everyone starts somewhere. But I really got started whenever my grandpa on my mom's side, Fred Hester, man, he was our rock, our family rock, and he was
Patron.
always playing, always singing around campfires, all that. It was me and my two cousins, my brother and sister, pretty much. I don't have siblings, so they were my brother and sister growing up, and we'd sit around and watch them play to the wee hours of the day. I don't know. We went to bed, early so they could have their adult time. You know how that goes. But when he passed away in 2009, that hole was kind of left there. There was no more gathering around a campfire, hanging out with the family, playing songs, singing, partying to the wee hours of the night. So I really missed that. I'm sure everyone else missed that, but it really stuck out to me that was gone. So there was one night we had a celebration on a groundbreaking ceremony on some family friends that had just purchased a home and land, and we're out there, and someone handed me a guitar, and I sang. I think I sang "Can't You See" by the Marshall Tucker Band.
Nice.
Out there, and everyone was just instant like. But here I am, just like doing my best, like not to.
So 2009, you're still. I'm not that strong in math. I think you were 3. No, 2009. So that
I had
would
to be
make you
10,
what?
11.
Yeah, 11.
10, 11, yeah, man. But yeah.
Singing that song too. That has some soul to it, brother.
Yeah, dude, I love that song. To this day, I think I heard recently their flutist passed away.
Yeah,
The
somebody-
legendary intro to that song. Yeah.
Now, is there a song that when you think about your grandpa that comes to mind, like the first song that comes to mind that reminds you of your grandpa?
Yeah, I actually kind of wrote one. I wrote 2. I wrote a happy one and a sad one.
Right.
I wrote the sad one called "Yours Anymore." It's pretty much talking about everyone's got a hand to hold, but not yours anymore. So,
Wow.
but still leaves the everlasting.
Way to bring it
impact.
down, Brandon.
But I wrote a
anyways,
happy
can't
song.
you see?
Yeah,
Can't
can't
you
you
see?
see?
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
And I wrote a happier song called "Down to the River." I wanted to write about and sing about the good times down there we had, and not dwell on the sad. So I just been writing songs, man. Doing it for about 1 year. In August is
now?
I started.
So you started playing in 2009.
Yeah,
but-
I'm talking fiddling around doing this because I was an avid sport. I was an avid athlete growing up, and I always wanted to go to college, be the football player and all that stuff. You wouldn't recognize it now. I used to be a running back, nice and fit,
You
abs
look like
and
a
all.
running back to me.
Jerome Bettis, maybe.
Yeah, the bus.
Good
Hey, I
luck.
was number 32 also.
Yeah, Ricky.
But yeah, so I started this music journey a year ago, like
Wow.
a couple months. Yeah.
And you're already doing
So-
festivals. You've already been on the stage of an
I've been
iconic 66. You've done-
so fortunate to meet people, to play my heart out, and to just, like Nancy and Jay, get me here with you guys, taking a chance on me,
Right.
things of that nature. And it's a lot of work, a lot of waking up at 4:30 in the morning to make it down to Austin, things of that nature. So you got to want it just as bad as opportunities are given to you.
I like that.
I've been so fortunate.
Well, there's a gap in there, obviously, and I love this. So just like Brandon said, that there's people that wake up one morning 35, they start playing. Just a year ago, you said you started writing and recording
I started
or performing.
performing 1 year ago. Same time I started writing. I didn't write a song until last year either. So
So what was it just a burning? Was it just a
2 years ago today, I would have never in 1,000 years thought I'd be playing music. I wouldn't have.
What were you doing?
I'd just moved to Davenport, Oklahoma. I'd just gotten out of college in 2020. I graduated from UCO. I got a job in
it's called Central State, but we'll
Central
call it
State.
University of Central Oklahoma
Yeah.
in Edmond. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's just in Oklahoma City, north of
Edmond.
Oklahoma City,
Go
right?
Bronchos.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
Bronchos.
Roll Chose.
Yeah.
But I got a degree in industrial safety, and I got a job in public safety as an emergency manager for a native tribe in Oklahoma. And I'm still doing it today full time.
About to say it's a great gig,
That's
man.
interesting that there's anything related to safety in Oklahoma. To me,
You smart ass. I thought you were going to be serious and talk about the reservation. That's a great gig he's got.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm Native American myself. I'm a Muskogee Creek Indian.
What? Are you
sweet.
Yeah. My grandfather, I want to say he's 100%, but you know how
do.
if you get super nitpicky, obviously you're not going to be 100% anything.
That's interesting.
Go ahead.
I claim Pacific Islander heritage now. Did you know that?
1 in 330th. Or
No.
I didn't know that.
My
we take a
grandmother.
test?
My grandmother. Did I take a test? Like a pregnancy test? My grandmother is a full-blooded Samoan.
Really?
She is. So my grandmother, my grandpa was not. So I'm like 1/8 Samoan or something like that. I can't remember how the math works out, but I'm like either a quarter or an eighth Samoan.
Really?
I'm dead serious.
So I refuse to do the 23andMe stuff, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, foil head, tinfoil hat. I just refuse to do it. And everybody, like, I have these friends that I hang out with, and they would have parties where, hey, well, I'll do 23andMe, and then we'll have another party where we'll reveal. And I went, yeah, it sounds fun. So we're all partying, and then we did the reveal. Like, Allard, where's your results? I go, I didn't do it. I don't want to know.
oh,
I really don't.
Why don't you want to know?
yeah, why?
I don't know. I come from a simpler time where, I can lie about what I'm kidding.
I can be anything.
I don't
I
know.
can I can identify as whatever I
That's
want
right.
to.
Like, I don't know if I don't know. Now, there is part of me that, like, once we put that out there, then people, the DNA, they can follow.
Maybe it would be good
I've
is
heard
if
some. You
people-
saying not be a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist? I've heard some wild things about those. So,
Come on,
Yeah.
throw it out there. What's one of them?
so I'm hearing people are like going back and tracking, and the DNA and things like that from the ancestry, the 23andMe, and things like
Yes.
that.
I
And
played baseball in college.
They're finding murderers
they're-
with
You
this.
guys are following me.
They're tracking people, like
Yes.
lineage,
Yeah.
seeing if people
Yeah.
are alone, like single families, things like that. And
You've got back payoed on your child support, buddy.
I
Like
don't know
14
that.
times over.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
with all these murder documentaries coming out on Netflix,
So what you're saying is don't do 23andMe. You knew your family was Native American.
I do know that, and I got the card to prove it. A lot of
Okay.
people don't.
And watch this. College was a beautiful thing, I'm sure. I love Oklahoma,
It was
man.
a
I grew
great
up there. Yeah. So when you register a certain percentage, your college is taken care of.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had quite a bit of it covered.
That's awesome.
And you had to have the grades as
Yep.
well.
Yep.
So they don't just let you go and freeload.
Yeah. No, it's a great program
Yeah.
that they have there.
So are you still working are you still working there
Yeah, I'm
then?
still working for
Okay.
the
That's
tribe. I'm still the emergency manager down there.
awesome.
And it's your regular, 8 to 5, but always on call. You never know when an emergency is going to strike, hit, and you got to wake up out of bed at 2 a.m. when a tornado rolls over the town. So
Now, how does that work when you're getting in from Grady's at 2 something in the morning?
So when I said I've been so fortunate and lucky to be able to do what I've done for a whole year, I've been so fortunate and lucky that that's never happened. Yeah, it's knock on wood, man.
Man, and I love. We just had an artist on too that she has to still have a job. I mean, you guys do it for passion, obviously, and it will be one day your thing. But to have both those worlds, man.
Yeah.
Because you're not sleeping on the weekends if you're gigging on the weekends. Am I right?
Yeah, no, we're down traveling. I'm going to Vegas in November to play. I was fortunate enough to run into a guy. And is it okay if I go on the story here? It's really
always.
crazy.
I love
this is
the
a crazy
podcast.
story.
Go
So the PBR World Finals that were held earlier this year in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah.
Ran into a guy that got me connected with them to come down and perform at the Stockyards for the PBR World Finals down there. And
One of our favorites, Pauline Reese. She plays all of it. The big ones, the small ones.
yeah, and I've been fortunate enough to hop on that train as well. And how I got there was interesting. I was playing at a venue called the Chicken Shack in Luther, Oklahoma, my hometown there, which they've now moved and relocated. But that aside, there was a gentleman with a few friends in the crowd that night. I was playing, doing my normal thing. Whether I'm playing for 5 people or 5,000 people, you know, it's you're gonna get the same product out of me. But I was sitting there playing, and they scooted a little closer towards the end of the night. Started paying a little bit more attention. You know, you see subtle things when you're crowd pleasing, and they start asking me to play real particular songs. You know, like Merle Haggard, play Willie Nelson, play a Kenny Chesney song, play an Eric Church song. You know, things like this. And I don't know the song titles off the top of my head they requested, but I was doing it. Just firing them off in front of them, and eventually, you know, I'll play anything for a tip. You know, you know, it's a you gotta work for your money out there.
Dan,
exactly.
$20 is $20.
$20.
I mean, let's be honest.
It's not the first time I've said that.
But and great guys, you know, and just got to reiterate, they're great people. Because the story is going to sound weird for a second, but it's not.
Dan hung out with the swinging community forever, so go ahead.
Yeah.
You're good.
So after we finished my set for the night, they were like, $100 if you keep on playing. I was like, sure, I'll keep on playing. Right there on the stage of the venue, and hey, they were still buying stuff, keeping the place going. So I'm sure they don't mind the extra money. Kept on playing. Finally, they kicked us out. Like, all right, guys, you had your fun. Get out of here. So they go out, wait outside. They have some outdoor fire pits out there, and they were over there by one of the fire pits, him and his buddy. And once I finished packing up my stuff, it was about midnight, maybe almost 1 o'clock in the morning. They said, meet us outside afterwards. I was like, all right, no worries. Finished packing up, and I head right over there. And they sit down, and he said, and they just told me, thank you so much for playing those songs, and I might have a big opportunity ahead of me. And my head's spinning. I mean, a lot of people say that stuff, you know, hey, I have something big for you. You want to come play old Brother Joe's birthday party next week? But anyways, and it kind of sounded like that at first. He's like, this is the day before Easter. And he said, hey, you mind coming and playing music all day for us at Easter? I was like, sure. What do you mean by, could you specify times and whatnot? Well, let's do 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. in the afternoon, 6 to 12. I played 5 hours straight that night anyways.
And it's already 1 o'clock in the morning. You do the
It's already
math,
1
you got
o'clock in the
5,
morning.
yeah.
And I live 30 plus minutes away from Luther. And the address he gave me was 30 minutes in the other direction from Luther. So by the time I get home, sleep, shower, all that, in my head, I'm like, I'm a good guy. I mean, I'll do anything for anyone. Seem like genuine people. They really enjoyed what I was doing. And that's what you play for. You play for people who enjoy what you do, man.
Absolutely.
And it really resonated with me that much that I was willing to, after being out there all night, go back home that night. I got home about 3 in the morning. I played more for him by that campfire that night that I skipped. But 3 in the morning, I get home. I take a quick little nap and drive to Arcadia. I leave my house about 5 in the morning. I get 2 hours of sleep, and I get there set up. His instructions to me when I pulled up, just go around the back porch. There may not be anybody there.
But just start playing.
Just start playing. Just start playing.
This does sound weird.
It sounds weird. And so I pull up, sure enough, pitch black, 6 in the morning, you know, ain't a soul out awake. I'd be dead asleep. Pull out my guitar on the back porch of their stranger's house. never been to. I don't know who this person is.
Just start playing.
And I just start playing. And keep in mind, it was so late last night and I was so busy. My phone had been blowing up all night because I usually check in, with my girlfriend, my mother, say, hey, show went great.
Who
See
blew
you
up
next
your
time.
phone more? Was it the girlfriend or
It,
the mother?
it was my mother.
Okay.
My mother.
It was my mother.
She was past her bedtime.
It was my mother.
She was being responsible. My mother was probably up being, irresponsible, but that's her business.
It's a whole different story.
But yeah, man. So I'm out there playing. And sure enough, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours later, I'm talking sitting out there playing to nobody on
So
the
8
back
a.m.
porch. I'm back there playing to nobody on the back porch of the stranger's house. 2 kids come out running out this back door. They peek around the corner, look at me, and I see them, and they run back inside, and I'm like, oh God, here we go. I'm about to get shot. And sure enough, just easing on out, gliding. He comes out and says, good morning, how are you doing? How you feeling? I was like, I'm doing great. And he's like, see, you showed up on time today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I was like, yeah, of course, man. You told you I would be. You got my word. And ended up playing to the normal time. Cut 1 hour short. And I was told I'd get paid $100 an hour to play out there.
Dang.
And he handed me the money I played, and I was $100 short because he cut me an hour short. And he says, I owe you an hour, or he said, you owe me an hour, but it's going to be at the Fort Worth Stockyards for the World Finals PBR.
Wow.
And sure enough, we come down here, we get this little house down here to rent out, and we come out, have a good time, play at the PBR, and
For 1 hour.
for 1 hour, man, it was
So who-
$100?
no, it was a little bit more than that.
So who is this guy? Can we say his name, or you wouldn't want to say?
I don't know if I want to say his name.
Okay,
but
I respect that.
He is,
He's connected.
yeah, man.
Now, did you have any idea when you were
No
playing
idea,
that
no
he was
idea.
connected and that he could?
Dude, he wanted to
have
see
that
if you would
influence on
show up, if you would
Yeah,
fulfill.
and
if
it
you would-
makes sense because
There's
it
so
was
many-
kind of a test because
Yeah.
if he insures to a crowd of however many people that
What a
someone's going to come
great
down here and play
story.
from Oklahoma. Yeah, and I mean, and it makes sense. And in my mind, the whole time, I was like, this is either the weirdest thing ever or this is a test. And sure enough, it was a test. But that's why I'm going to Vegas this November, because they have an event going on.
So, what's the lesson learned there for our audience? Dan, you need to listen. What is the lesson there? Because I could think of 2 of them. The moral to that story, or your.
Yeah.
But what is the lesson there?
To me, what I learned out of that is don't be a conspiracy theorist. First off.
I love that now I'm the tinfoil hat guy.
But I mean, that all started because it was genuine, it was honest,
Okay.
and it's like you're saying, look in someone's eyes, as you mentioned earlier, and trust and believe in what you're doing and,
Okay.
and all that. I mean, that's how that started for me. That was true and honest.
I think that lesson is across. I'm in sales,
Yeah.
right, and I work with a team, and what I try to, and I teach and kind of train some, but the number one thing is follow through. I find that in my personal relationships, and that follow through is huge for me. He was testing you.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, think
100%.
about the time frame. Now, I deal with a lot of musicians, and if they would have played all night and said, you show up at 6 a.m., play for 6 hours in the morning, and you show up, you set up, and there's nobody there but kids running around, how many people that even I know
They're packing back up.
would have said, this is too creepy. But it's about follow through. And this old dog, I don't know his name, he wanted to see if you would do that. And there is a different generation, my father's generation, that will do tests like that to see if you will fulfill. So it's not that overpromise and underdeliver. It's opposite.
Yeah.
He never told you what he had up his sleeve. And that damn $600 -1, and that was a smooth move too.
And that's what I'm saying. Whether I'm playing for nobody or thousands of people, I mean, you're going to get, I'm going to give you everything, man. I mean,
You're
that's-
always going to remember, like that
Yeah.
is, that's a lesson
cool
you can
story.
tell your kids, man.
Yeah.
And now there is some intuition that's involved in gut, trust, like look, you said, looking in the eye, but he kind of already showed you, hey, play for another hour. Here's $100. Sure. Play for this. So can you play this? Can you play that? So it was almost a test
Yeah.
to see what you would, like the next level, almost like I'm thinking like Danielson, or something kind of, or grab the rock out of my hand or the pebble out of my hand. That's a freaking awesome. So what was it like then? You're on the back patio in the dark, crickets helping you sing, like a little nitty gritty dirt band thing there. And then boom, now you're in front of how many people were there?
So they had an audience tracker, And obviously, all it does is pass
Sure.
or track the attendance that passes through that little sensor. They had tracked, I think, 200,000 people that had walked through that area because I was playing all in the
Yeah.
stockyards, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just
Yeah.
people.
If you've ever
passing
been,
by.
it's a
if you want to
beautiful.
sit there and,
I love the Fort
and
Worth
crowd
stuff.
around and watch is what it was. But I mean, I played in front of probably more people than I'll ever get to play in front of in my entire life. But I mean, it was amazing, and I hope I got to do it again. But
Well, it sounds like you're going to Vegas.
yeah,
So
shoot, yeah. What happens in Vegas, though, you never know.
hold on. Let's make this
Jay
clear.
told me about this.
Let Uncle Matthew teach you something.
Oh boy.
Uncle
when
Donnie
I
style or
go to
what?
when I go to Vegas, this is my rule, and people make fun of me. Never stay on the Strip. Don't stay in Old Vegas. Don't stay in New Vegas. I stay at Red Rocks Resorts. See if my man understands what I'm talking about. Or Lake Vegas. You're way off the Strip. You can still go to the Strip. They'll even drive you to the Strip, but you're not staying on the Strip. Lake Vegas is beautiful. You're out there. You're out. It's like you're in Oklahoma. You're at a resort, but it's like you're in Oklahoma. Red Rocks, they do have a casino inside that. If you're a big UFC guy like me, the Fertitas opened it up. That's where they first started training and all that. It's beautiful out there. Don't stay on the Strip. There's nothing on the Strip.
Well, I think I'm out of pocket on that one because
They're putting you on the Strip. So what you're telling me?
they're housing me and flying me, so I'm at their
You go
beck
where
and
they
call.
put you. That's kind of what that's usually when I'm there. There's somebody's paying for me to stay
Yeah.
somewhere. That's where I'm staying.
Okay, that's fair. Then if you're going to stay on the Strip, no, I'm kidding. No,
Don't hang out on the Strip.
I just don't gamble. It's not a religious thing. I figure you're going to be making this money. I have so many musician friends that do this. I say, how did you do? I didn't gamble at all.
Yeah.
I said, you didn't? Well, how much did you make? Well, I went to this show and I went to this restaurant and went to this. I went to that.
See,
And
I gamble because you got to pay for all that shit.
that's why you gamble?
Yes.
No, that's not a money-making scheme.
What if it works
That-
out? I mean, that's
Listen,
Oh, here we go. You're going to give me your theory on roulette or baccarat or
true story.
All right.
True story. We're going to Vegas, and it was a couple years ago, SleepCon, and Jessica, my director of operations,
his
at
other
Sleep-
right hand.
my
She's
right
amazing.
hand woman at
Amazing.
and she is amazing. She's fantastic at Sleep Better Austin. She says, Dr. Brandon, I want to get a new purse. And I said, okay. I don't know what this means. She says, well, I want a Louis Vuitton. And I said, oh, okay. I don't know what that means either. She says, well, can you help me win some money? If I give you some money, can you help me win some money so I can buy this purse? And I said, well, I could try. What are we looking at? So she says, I'll give you $500. I need $2,000
For a purse?
for a purse. It must be a nice purse.
Is that about right?
You don't spend that kind of money.
Yeah,
No, I have
I've
no
never had
idea
that
purses
question
could
asked
even
me, so-
cost this much.
What?
It sounds like a lower end Louis.
A low end Louis is what I've heard.
she was trying
that
to catch you
is.
a deal.
Wait,
But-
I've heard one of those. A low-end Louis?
So she says $500. I need $2,000. So I said, okay, listen. Here's the deal. I will take 10% of winnings up until 2,000,
Okay.
and then 50% of winnings after 2,000.
You're always making... Go ahead.
And if you lose the 500, you lose the 500.
Okay.
So
Put it all on black? And,
no, I play blackjack.
Okay.
So the very
he's counting
first
cards.
night, we get there.
Uh-huh.
I go sit down at the blackjack table. I work for an hour and a half, 2 hours. All of a sudden, I have her $2,000. So I take her $2,000. Like, here you go. And she's like, already? It's only the first night. And I was like, well, we had a good night. So she's like, okay. She comes back to me the next day. She says, well, I was thinking maybe I could get a wallet.
Oh,
I was like, oh, shit, don't push your luck. It got stressful trying to get the wallet. So anyways, all I'm saying is you got to pay for that shit. And look,
hold on. 10%? Hold on. You're not getting out of this. So did she end up getting the wallet?
She didn't get the wallet
Okay.
because she made me go back in.
Made you, yes.
And I took one of her little yellow chips, which was $1,000, and she kept one. And I went back to the blackjack table. And at one point in time, I had lost some, and I was down to like $300 left, and so it got really stressful because now I'm like,
You're playing with house money. Well, Jessica's money.
I'm
don't
playing
think
with
I've ever
Jessica's
gone to
money, but
casino
I'm
with
thinking
more than
she lost
300.
her purse already, and now like fuck the wallet, she doesn't have a purse now, and so I'm stressing out, and I'm like, this is just too stressful, and so I'm like clawing my way back, and you have to be very patient with blackjack. You have to be very, very patient, and so I get back up to like 1,300, so I went up like 300 more, and at that point I lost a few hands, and I was like, you know what? I just can't take this stress anymore. So I finished up and we're done. So then Alyssa the next day is like, well, can you gamble for me too?
No. So let's get back on our guest.
So Levi, I'm still curious though. Sorry. Have fun in Vegas.
Hey,
Congratulations.
thank you, man.
What was it? So go back here because I know we kind of skipped over a little bit. You finished college. You got your job. You love the guitar. You've been playing since you were 9. What was this all of a sudden? I'm going to write songs. I'm going to perform. Like, what was that?
So
It had to be a catalyst.
writing songs, performing, I think were two different things that started that. Performing, it was pretty short and sweet. It was an old teacher of mine. She used to teach at Luther. Knew I played music. Had seen videos of me and stuff playing wagon wheel on everyone's page. But
Yep.
it was they have this party every year, 4th of July party, and they say, hey, would you mind coming out and play some music for however long you want? I don't care. It'd just be good to see you. Cool to have some music, and we'll see you there. Give you a couple $100, whatever. And I was like, couple $100 to play some
You
music.
gonna pay me to play music?
Yeah, I do this in my bedroom. Sure,
Yeah.
I'll do it. And no, it wasn't that easy. I was like, I don't know. I don't really play. I mean, it's like
I don't
tooth
know,
and
like
nail trying to get me to do stuff like that. And it happened. Word of mouth. Someone saw something, get booked somewhere else. Word of mouth,
Love it.
get booked somewhere else. Get booked somewhere else. Is this what you want to do, Levi? Yeah, sure, I'll do this. It's great side paying gig. I have a career job, as you know, and the gigs keep coming. I'm trying to think.
So how did Nancy get in the picture?
Karaoke. Fancy Nancy.
Tuesdays at
Yeah.
66.
Yeah, Grady 66. Fancy Nancy karaoke, man.
I've been there a time or
I think
two.
I went out there. I was with my mom, and our cousin Matt, and I want to say maybe our other cousin Mason was there, but we were out there singing karaoke, and I must have impressed him. I think I was drunk. I don't know, but it was a good time. And
I say that about my one night stands.
I think I was drunk.
I know. I think
I
I
don't
impressed
know.
him.
Yeah.
I think I
was
impressed
drunk.
him.
I don't
anyways,
know.
I knew I had
Might
a
have
good
impressed
time.
him.
I knew I had a good time because I went back another week, and this time it was just me, and
Right.
I was just out there having a good time. And since it was just me, I didn't really have anyone to talk to, so I was talking to Nancy and Jay.
Yeah.
He's there, always supporting her, and they really do a great job
Oh,
with the karaoke. I
it's
don't know if
fun.
you've ever
Oh, I have.
participated in their karaoke,
Oh,
but
I-
it's a good time.
Believe me, I've done it.
And
too many.
turns out they're like, yeah, we have some people coming over later, gonna play and jam, do some music at the house, whatever. And sure enough, we go over there, hang out, play music, have a great time, meet even more wonderful people. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a snowball from there. The people you meet by taking chances with strangers. I mean,
Yeah.
just
So-
the honesty of that.
So some people get, booking agents or managers, and they're out there actively like calling and trying to find gigs and trying
That's
to.
what I was
mean,
gonna say. I don't think, and this is me. I might be one or two that slip through, but I don't think I've ever reached out to ask to play somewhere.
So everybody's coming to you.
Yeah, and I'm literally
Dude,
just
that's-
a guy working a job, living in Davenport, Oklahoma, who graduates like 13 people a year, and I'm very so fortunate to have that happen, and it's crazy. But to touch on your other question about the songwriting, about a year ago, kind of a hard time for me. I don't know, people go through those little strains in life, and I didn't know how else to get better about it, and I just started writing songs. I was writing stuff down in my notes on my phone. Man, just something here, put it away. Put your thoughts out on the paper. Put your thoughts out. Get them out of your head.
Brandon,
put them somewhere
I'm
else.
being no joke, but
Yeah.
Brandon teaches that about sleep.
I'm sure there's a
too. Get it out.
terminology
Yeah.
about there's a term for that, but you know, get it out of you, put it somewhere else, throw it away, hide it until you want to deal with it. Do that. So I did that enough. Charles like, well, try to sing a song about it. You know, I mean,
Right.
isn't that what country music and red dirt music is? It's
Yeah.
pretty much about life. I mean, and I put a song together, and it was called Home, and I didn't have it all done, but I had this pretty cool little guitar line going. Played it for a couple close family, and was like, hey, what do you think of this? I mean, this you'll understand it because you understand me. What do you think? They're like, we love it. We love it. You should finish it. And I was like, I don't know how to finish this song. I don't know what I'm doing, but I mean, I'll try. And I'm no guitar whiz by any means. I don't read music, stuff like that. I don't.
A lot of
Never did that.
musicians, they don't
And-
read. Yeah.
And that's what gets me on songwriting, but that's a different story. But ended up finishing that song, played it, everyone loved it. I played the mess out of that song, and I haven't played it in a while because I feel like every new song I write, it just gets better. Every new song I write gets better.
How comfortable would you be if I asked you to play the song Home?
I would play it for you maybe off camera.
Okay.
Is that all right?
No, I love honesty.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to take a break now and get your guitar out. Dan's going to set up. I want to hear some of your music. It's songwriter's choice, so you get to choose whatever you want to play. Can we do that now? Can we get them set up?
Yeah.
How many songs have you written or recorded?
I've recorded one official song,
Okay.
Okay.
and I'm set to record an album here.
Nice.
Coming up very soon.
Who are you using?
I'll be going to Nashville to record the album.
With who?
A friend of mine,
Okay.
newfound friend through the grapevine have found. This is a little bit of another story tangent again, but I was playing at a VFW in Blackwell, Oklahoma.
Love Blackwell.
Yeah, man.
Spent every July 4th there growing up.
One of my brothers there, he's a police officer up there, and
Yeah.
he got me hooked up with a gig to play at the VFW up there. I'm up there playing. Some guys show up. Someone phones up a buddy, say, "Hey, I think you should come check this guy out."
Yeah.
He comes out, checks me out, talks to me during the show. Say, "Hey, really like what you're doing. I'll be sticking around for a little bit. Just keep doing your thing." I'm like, "Cool beans. Wonderful meeting you, man." Keep playing. Later that night, I find out I might have an opportunity to be opening for Casey Donahue Band and the Bellamy Brothers.
Oh, sweet.
So I got that opportunity. If you've seen that on social media,
I have.
the Top of Oklahoma Jam, I got that opportunity in Blackwell, Oklahoma, at a VFW for playing for 30 people.
So it sounds to me like, as we get you set up, and I love this, Levi, all these, I don't believe in coincidence, but it seems like every time you step through a window that opens, or door that opens and you step through it. I know. I was young. I used to sneak out.
I was gonna
When you
say
step through
sneaking
that
out.
door that opens, all these good things come to you, man.
Yeah.
So
Fortunate.
I just think it's awesome. Dan has some, he'll get you set up. And yeah, man, let me hear what you got, brother. He'll probably put it up there. All right. Now, I heard you talking to Brandon earlier. You have something on your guitar that's pretty cool. I'd like for you to tell us about that before your song, brother. We'll wait till you get you mic'd up, bro. Handsome Dan's the best in the business. I promise you. He'll get you set up.
Thank you. Yeah, so this guitar here, it's pretty much fully custom made. High school graduation gift I had. My mom and some family put this together for me. Rick Larson, man up in Kansas, also family by marriage to us. He built this. He was a retired woodworker, and he's actually building me another one right now. I should get it next week. I almost had it here in Austin with us today, but I drew this on a piece of paper, and he made this happen. So all the specifications I wanted. It had the most important thing to me, which is family up here at the top. It had the Gibson-like frets on the neck. On the 12th fret here is my grandpa's death date, the one I talked about earlier. And it's probably, if you know us and our family, that's the coolest part about this. It's also got my last name engraved in here, and it's just wanted something to hand down, down the road, because this can be here forever. I won't be able to be here forever. So I want something, to
Love
last, like these songs that I'm about to play.
There you go. Well, let's hear it, brother. We're
So-
excited. Thank you.
Speaking of Nancy earlier, this is Nancy's favorite song. So since Nancy got me here, this is for Nancy. Thank you so much, Nancy. Here's your song called "I Pray." New mic. Anyways, I'll keep telling the story about this. So I wrote this song pretty much during the middle and height of the pandemic, and there was a lot of struggle going on, a lot of pain, and a lot of days that felt really long for people. And one big line in here is, "I'll pray for these days to come and go." And I don't know if everyone's here is religious or not, but it really resonates with me, and I hope you guys can enjoy it just as much as I do, man.
Sometimes my life feels like a mess, but I don't wanna run. Away from the ones who erased and become what I love. Whenever those lights go down, and I'll be strong when no one is around. So I pray for these days to come and go. Then I'll ride like a cowboy growing old. Feels like nothing could ever bring me down. Whenever I am lost, I get found when I pray. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. One day I pulled up to the station to fill up my truck. Took a second to look at the sun shining down from above. I can feel you when I look at the sky. I look down and I ask myself why. So I pray for these days to come and go. Then I'll ride like a cowboy growing old. Feels like nothing could ever bring me down. Whenever I am lost, I get found when I pray. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. So I pray for these days to come and go. Then I'll ride like a cowboy growing old. Feels like nothing could ever bring me down. Whenever I am lost, I get found when I pray. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. When I pray. Yeah. Oh, That's for you, Nancy.
Wow.
Man, can I tell you something?
Yeah, of course, man.
I haven't. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You always like it when I say that.
I always get nervous.
Well, I haven't heard you before, and I don't do a lot of research for my shows.
That's all right.
And
I'm
so
not a big studier either.
I kind of just exactly. I'm a horrible studier. I'm giving a couple lectures next weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what I'm lecturing about
Love
yet,
you, brother.
and I have nothing
Hey, you're
prepared
authentic,
yet.
man. It's what it
And
is.
so I didn't know what to expect when you started singing, and I wasn't expecting that.
That's why I love that he doesn't
fantastic.
Thank you
prepare
so
now.
much.
No.
I used to frustrate me when we first started the podcast. Ask Handsome Dan, but now I love it because he gets, and our audience knows this by now too. You get the real, true first. Like I love it. Even we had another artist the other day that sang, and I saw your face there too. Like you were like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. I was like, oh, from the first line, I was like, oh, I wasn't. You seem so just kind of
quiet.
quiet.
It's
and
great.
reserved, and
I'm a different person singing.
I'm from Oklahoma, and I'm quiet and I'm reserved. And then you sing like you fucking own the shit.
Oh, he does. I will tell you, and again, I will state this till my last breath. I am blessed with the friends I have and the people I know and the opportunities that I've had. So to meet, like right when I knew Lee, I said, "Yeah, come on, we got it.
Yeah.
We got to show him off
Yeah.
before he
I
gets
love
too
it.
big." And when he gets really big, he'll go. Well, they'll show clips, and we'll go talk to him. He'll be like, "I don't have time."
He's like, hey, I don't have time for you
I don't
guys.
have time for you guys.
Hopefully,
Remember,
if I
you
get
didn't do your
bigger, I
research.
can fly down and instead of driving.
That's right.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
Dan,
it.
come here. You want to say it on camera? You want,
No, he
Okay.
doesn't have a mic. All right, well-
Dan said, "I'm taking off my shirt for
Yeah.
you." That's exactly what he said.
Dang, he's
and my underwear.
Levi, he doesn't wear underwear.
Oh yeah.
Let's jump into another one, man.
Yeah,
tell
man.
us a little bit about this one.
This next one here, a little bit more a beat one. This is one I have recorded. It's called "It'll Be All Right," and it's a little bit more your straightforward country song. Hopefully, you can like it. Well, I try to be honest about the things that I've done. At the end of the day, the damage was done, and it could have been worse. At least I tried. At the end of the day, it's gonna be alright. It'll be alright, alright. It'll be alright, alright. It'll be alright, alright. It'll be alright, alright. For every story, in every town, everything I lost, everything I found, I try not to worry, for tonight is my guide. And no matter where I go, there's nowhere to hide, 'cause I try to be honest about the things that I've done. At the end of the day, the damage was done, and it could have been worse, and at least I tried. At the end of the day, it's gonna be alright. It'll be alright, alright. It'll be alright, alright. It'll be alright, alright. It'll be alright, alright. Everybody's got a story to tell. It'll take him to heaven, it'll take him to hell. With the night as my witness and this beer by my side, I might light one up and lay waste to the night. 'Cause it'll be alright, alright. It'll be alright, alright. It'll be alright, alright. It'll be alright, alright, alright. Well, I try to be honest about the things that I've done. At the end of the day, The damage was done and it could have been worse. At least I tried. At the end of the day, it's gonna be all right.
My man. Two things I love about that. You already named it. I would have named it the Matthew McConaughey song.
All right.
And your girlfriend. I am sorry. Don't get her on camera. She words like she knows every word, and this joy. Yeah. I caught myself looking at you, and it's just it's so sweet. What a great freaking song.
Thanks, man.
See, I like optimism.
Yeah.
I like being positive. My gosh, that was great, dude.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that a lot.
So it is recorded. Is it out? Is it?
That's out pretty much everywhere. So that song's just called "It'll Be All Right," and like I said, I plan to record a whole album in the coming months. So I'm still waiting on a fine date. We had to reschedule it due to personal reasons.
Sure.
But it's getting done, and I have to say a huge thank you, because the album would not be possible at all without the support of the people that funded it.
Sure.
The people that funded it came out to my hometown of Luther. I hosted an event with our family friends, Greg and Tammy Westermeyer, probably the most important people for this album for me right now.
Awesome.
They hosted the venue for it. We held the hometown throwdown
Great
event
name.
and in Luther, and we had cornhole tournaments, sold my merch, did raffles, had a bunch of musicians come out. Jack Waters, one of them. Ben Brock was one of them.
Oh, yeah.
He
Love
came
Ben.
out and he played. We had Daniel Burgess. We had Jason Morrison, and a surprise guest who showed up to fill in place for Mitch Hayes, who wasn't able to make it. But we raised money, and the album is possible because of that. So
Wow.
thank you for everyone who did that for me.
Man, the hometown throwdown. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
hometown throwdown.
It takes a village, man.
It
I mean, I
does.
think many musicians that I've become friends with or know, it takes a village, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's always someone who believes it. So Rigby played for us the other
Yeah.
night, and she has some Patreons. And I was wondering why she kept saying Patreon. But I know, like, Bree Bagwell has this group called Patreon. Patreon is where they gift and donate towards albums and towards travel and stuff. And what I love is I actually got to see Pauline Reese play at a house party in a very nice subdivision in Houston, Texas. I won't give too many details, but literally she does a concert for all these people who donate directly to her for whatever
Yeah.
in the music world. And it takes those people to help support these amazing artists.
I mean, they're the
And
backbone. I mean,
absolutely.
like I'm saying, I would not be able to record this album without the people who directly funded that. So.
Well, man, that so I love it. So we did a little Jesus, we did a Matthew McConaughey, right? What's this third song about? Give it to me.
You ever heard of Lake Eufaula in Oklahoma?
Well, of course, I grew up in
Lake Eufaula.
Lake
Lake
Eufaula. It's
Eufaula.
very popular.
I wrote this song at Lake Eufaula, and I was sitting there. You know, we do a lot of work up there. While everyone's working, I'm taking a little guitar music break. You know, crack a beer. You know, look at the scenery, whatnot. And I write this song, and I'm sitting there. I wonder if I can write a song about exactly what I'm doing at this second. You know, just a little songwriter challenge. You know, I'm sitting here drinking beer, playing music at the lake with my friends.
It's a country music song.
I mean, yeah,
That's
so
country.
we're going to try to write a song about it, and I wrote this song called I'm In, and I hope you guys like this.
Let's do it.
Got a guitar in my hand and a cold beer on my right. There's no, I'd rather be on a cold and rainy night. I got a fire in the pit. I'm here with all my friends, and I'm starting to get to wonder how this shit all began. With a bad boy and a good girl, all tangled up in this crazy world. With a good time and some bad friends. We'll raise them up high, let's do it again. I'm in. Whoa, 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 I'm in. It's been a long night, I had the time of my life. All the memories that were made as I'm burning up a good heart. She gave me a good time wing and put a kickstart in my heart. I'm just a bad boy with a good, good girl. All tangled up in this crazy world with a good time and some bad, bad friends. We'll raise them up high. Let's do it again. I'm in. Whoa, 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 I'm in. Well, nothing's gonna stop us from tearing up the weekend. Only one that's gonna throw us on a far but deep end is a bad boy, a good, good girl. All tangled up in this crazy world with a good time and some bad, bad friends. We'll raise them up high. Let's do it again. I'm in. Whoa, 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 I'm in. Oh, I'm in.
So here's the challenge. My weekend is I go to sleep by 8:30, up by 4:30, hang out with my daughter, and maybe do some other things. Could you do? No, I'm just kidding. Dude,
That's a
your
boring
boy-
song.
like, so, Dan, come here. I got to have Dan on this. I trust Dan so much. Come here, Dan. Because tell me if I'm wrong. Like, you sound like three different artists on three different songs.
Sure. Yeah, I get a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I feel like I have. I don't know if you hear any like oohs in the background and when
Yeah.
you're recording this, but I hear like some. I hear some. I don't know.
Or-
I was hearing background.
Background
I-
singers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's almost like a soul song. It's almost like a soul. style.
That last one had some soul.
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say. Like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Mark Broussard, like a
Sure, yeah,
Chris
exactly.
Stapleton, like
I love
a.
Mark Broussard. I've never met the guy, but I love him, and I've listened to him since I was in high school, man. It was-
Yeah, I can't wait to meet him.
I met him and he's
I
awesome.
can't wait to meet him.
I
He's
saw him
awesome.
on here. He's the first episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's but I will tell you, man, your sound, your energy when you sing, Brandon, you're right. You like that? Say that.
Energy.
Like you're so. Like, you did. I'm big on body language too. Like you sit here, being honest about your life and kind of calm. Man, when you sing, dude, it's like a different person. Do you feel that way?
Yeah. When I
So you're doing it again. Yeah, I feel
when
that.
when I hang out with people, Nancy and Jay, the first time,
Right.
they looked at me. They're like, I was by myself, pub, hanging out. You all right? Everything good? Oh yeah, no, it's just me. I'm just,
Have you always been this way?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I've always been pretty quiet. College, I was a little bit more outgoing, but you get over
No,
that.
drinking doesn't mean you're outgoing. by the way. Did you hear that, Dan?
So-
Okay. So I'm gonna turn a little on you for a second, unless.
Well, I
apologize.
just
go
no,
ahead.
no, go ahead.
Well, no. So I look at you, right? You used Jerome Bettis, or you did. I didn't. And I'm gonna look at her for a true answer. All right. And I'm curious. You work a full-time job. I know you gig. If you're hanging out with Jay and Nancy, you're hanging out a little late. How do you sleep, man? Does he snore? He looks like a snorer to me, and I'm no professional. Dr. Brandon's very professional, but you look like you have the larger than 17-inch neck.
I would say so, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't button my necks on my shirts if that.
Yeah. Well, I get made fun of because I always button my top button. But I would say that. So, how do you sleep? You said I took a quick nap, or I slept for
Yeah.
2 hours. I catch
So
this.
I can sleep at any time. I have no problem sleeping. I can sleep here on the couch, but sounds keep me awake. You know, it's got to be quiet, but I can sleep anywhere. One thing that
And you're young.
troubles me, yeah, is I've always thought I've had this deviated septum, which means like I can only breathe through one nostril.
Yeah, we
Right
kind of
now.
know what that is.
Yeah,
Can't-
yeah.
And I had it checked out. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to the recommendation that I had, insurance reasons, and because I mean it's not cheap always getting your body taken care of and looked at. But I went and got it checked out. They said I have enlarged turbinates.
Yeah,
turbinates,
yeah.
And they cycle, which means they already cycle for
Yeah.
I guess temperature regulation or something like that, or some medical thing. But since mine are already big, whenever they're cycling, it's completely closing off like a nostril, and I cannot breathe through my mouth. I'm not a mouth breather. My mouth gets dry. I can't do it. Like that's why if you see me sit here just crank through water and in this drink here, and So I have to breathe through my nose, and that forces me to sleep on a certain side of my body depending on what nostrils available. Because if not, if this one's available and,
Yeah.
I'm laying down here,
Yeah, let gravity
will
work.
push
Yep.
this down. And I can't breathe through any of my nostrils.
Mm.
They said to use a certain nose spray, but I couldn't get it because it was like $500.
Oh, geez.
And my insurance didn't cover it for some reason. I feel like I have insurance, but I feel like it doesn't ever cover nothing, which is kind of weird. But
Dude, welcome to being an adult,
Yeah.
by the
Yeah.
way. That's curious. So have you always had this issue?
Yeah. I mean, I've never noticed it because I was always moving fast, always doing stuff.
Right.
But now that I've gotten a little older, I've realized that I have time to sit and like think about me instead of other things and all that. I know it sounds selfish, but it's not. But
No.
I lay in bed and I sometimes I'm like, that sucks. Like
But you
I notice it.
You just fight through
And
it.
yeah, and it's just what it is. Sometimes you're good, sometimes you're not. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know. I've heard people say, your note and what do they call your nasal airways? They really affect how you sound.
Yeah.
And some people say it doesn't. So I don't know. This is just how I've always sounded. And I told someone like, oh, well, I'm going to go get my deviated septum fixed one day. They're like, oh, what if it changes how you sing?
No,
I'm like,
I was. Hold on, it'll help you sleep, but it
Yeah.
could change your voice.
It could. So who knows? I mean, but
Yeah.
I mean,
But you might live longer.
yeah, I might live longer.
I mean, that's way more important.
I mean,
It might
I'd
change
rather,
it. And you might,
I'd rather die young with a good voice.
there you go. Well, that's rock
That
and roll.
voice is still
Well,
good.
we actually were listening to an episode. Me and Katie were listening to an episode on the way down, and you guys were talking about the nasal stents.
Yeah, yeah.
And she looked at me like immediately when you said that, and I was like, oh, look
Well,
at me.
that'd be something to try because it could theoretically open up. So Airway Stents is one of our sponsors, and we've had some patients use that and be really successful with it because nasal breathing is so important. I mean, it really is. And it's interesting you mentioned that cycling. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of physicians don't know that the nasal patches do cycle, and it happens throughout the night. So you might be 2 hours breathing well through this side, 2 hours through this side, 2 hours through this side.
how
You
it
just
is.
cause and turn, all that kind of
Rolling.
stuff. But if you have that, plus they're enlarged, plus a deviated septum, like you got a lot of factors going against you.
We call
And I
that the
can't breathe through my
triple
mouth,
threat. No, I'm just
so
kidding.
how am I breathing?
Yeah, exactly. I can tell you, Jenny got her turbinance reduced. My son got his turbinance reduced. They went in and they shave them down,
Yeah.
and it creates so much more space. So, something like that is absolutely can help. But so when you do sleep though, like what's your schedule like? Do you have a pretty solid schedule Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday is pretty normal.
Okay.
I wake up for the job, but weekends you play till, like I said, I was out till 3 a.m. one night. I mean,
Yeah.
it changes up, and depending on how that goes, it really will throw you off. A weekend at the lake, that'll throw you off because you may not go to sleep. You never
Yeah.
know.
God, I
would
remember
say-
those days.
I would say I'm responsible enough during the week to where I feel okay to be irresponsible on the weekend.
That's a damn song. Say that again. I'm responsible enough during the
during
week.
to feel okay to be irresponsible on the weekend.
That's the 80-20 rule, right? Like that's
Yeah.
why I eat really well Monday through
But-
Friday. I can have that
Pizza.
pizza
But
on
I
Saturday
notice
night.
it because when it is come Sunday and you got to go to work and you're wide awake at midnight and you're like, well, this is gonna suck. waking up
So
in the morning.
rituals to go to sleep. Are you one of these guys? Obviously, you just shared your issue, but that you kind of have a certain ritual. It's got to be a cold room. I lay on my back. I turn over. Well, is there
So,
something?
I
that's
roll
been more
around.
helpful?
I'm like one of those like quick trip on cue like hot dogs that roll around like in bed all day, and I wake up every morning and my sheets are pulled off my bed.
That's the best analogy we've had so far on the show.
Please, you know
quick
what
trip
I'm
is a gas
thinking?
station.
Please have a clip. Oh, please. Gosh dang. Levi, you have brought so much joy.
Oh, do
to
you
me
want?
today.
Yeah. Pull it.
Yeah, pull it.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
can
need
pull
to
it.
get you on mic. We don't have that much longer to go, Levi,
man.
but I definitely
Unfortunate.
want to give you an opportunity. We're going to do a little switch mic here.
Thank you.
I want you to plug some things. So this episode is being taped today, but it will come out at a future time.
Okay.
But I definitely want our audience to know where to find you on socials. If they want to be a Patreon or whatever, what's some places they can find you at, brother?
Yeah, so I'm mostly active on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook, you'll get pretty much all my official dates for shows and things of that nature. I'm working on a website right now.
So what is it, Facebook?
The Facebook is Levi Walker Music.
Okay.
You can pretty much find it. I'm a guy wearing a cowboy hat. I didn't wear it today, but normally it shows. You'll see me
Brandon
wearing
didn't
that.
either.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Left it at home. Left my boots at home too.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
You'd look good.
They
with
didn't
your
match my shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate when that
So
happens.
Levi Walker Music on Facebook.
Okay.
Levi Walker Music on Instagram.
Yep.
Those are my two active things. I have a YouTube channel. I'm going to try to work on getting it more, professional. It's kind of just live stuff, but it's Levi Walker Music as well,
Great.
But Levi Walker Music all around, you should be able to find it there. And pretty much any and all follows. I mean, that's what it takes. It takes people sharing your stuff.
I agree.
Following you, keeping up
But you
with
said you had one song released. Can they get that on any of the streaming?
Man. That's Spotify, Apple Music, LimeWire, whatever your music source is.
What about bands in town?
Bands in town.
We
I
just
don't-
learned about that with the musician. Like, we need to start looking up that one. And that way it'll show you your venues and all that. So if your song's released,
Yeah.
just like I had to ask questions last night, I asked her how it works. So just like any other streaming service. So then they'll search for you there, and it'll say all your upcoming dates and all that. And so it's a pretty cool service.
Yeah, I could totally look into that, man.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Look at me helping you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helping me out, man.
And he is the expert.
Hey,
By the way, I still thought there was MySpace.
I think you can find a happy medium with both.
Well, I cannot thank you enough.
Levi,
Oh, go ahead.
what do you mentioned, you started playing and when you started playing, you were young and it was almost like you were filling a hole.
Mm-hmm.
Your grandpa had passed and the family didn't have some of that and you wanted to, it was almost like you were filling that up. And that's what you were playing for back then. What do you play for now?
It's the same thing, man. I mean, I did sports growing up, and I found out later in life that I tried and I worked so hard at those because it's what brought my people together. My mom and dad are separated, but they always showed up to my football games. They always showed up to my track meets, my basketball games, things of that nature. And when I play these shows, sure enough, my cousins are there, my aunts are there, my friends, new friends, family are there, moms, dads, everyone. It and I hope it's for good. I don't want people to feel like they're obligated to, catch a show, things of that nature. But I hope it brings people together, and to get away from things they might have going on. Like, I hope it's an escape for them to come enjoy an attachment to something successful that they feel like they have a hand in.
I love that. Thank you for
Man,
sharing
and I'll
that.
tell you, Brandon, great question. Your grandfather would be proud of you, brother.
Thanks, man.
I'm honored to get to know you. Obviously, we know the same people. Thank you so much for being here, brother.
Thanks.
We don't end without Handsome Dan.
Handsome ass
Do
Dan.
we have Handsome ass Dan? Do we have a question?
Sure.
Nope.
Uh,
Try again.
Take your time.
Well, if you want some background vocals, I'd love to jump on that record with you. And that's all.
There you go.
That's my only input.
Is that a question?
Self-plug.
Nope. May I jump on that
Oh,
record
wow.
with
It
you?
was a question.
It was a question.
Well, listen, let's hold up our drinks.
Yeah, brother.
Levi Walker, thank you for sleeping around with Dr. Brandon and
Of course.
Matthew.
Thank you, guys.
Fist bump
Cheers.
with Handsome Dan. Thank you, man, for coming. Appreciate it. Bye.
When the sun goes down and the moon is high, we'll be chasing stars till the morning light. Come on.